Hello everybody, how are you doing on this fine? Who even knows? Girl, who even knows? We are taking yet another trip down memory lane. We're doing a little refresher special because I have a very big announcement to make at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Beep. What I thought we should do today is just take a little trip down memory lane for some of you, but some of you I know have really never become acquainted with this story. I have some new followers and things like that. So I thought now would be as good a time as any, because you'll see at the end of the video, to refresh your recollection about some of the calamity that has ensued against my rights over the last 2 years. The first one we are going to revisit is going to be, I think, one of my most iconic videos of all time. I mean, I definitely think it's groundbreaking, iconic, groundbreaking, genre defining, genre creating, genre inventing. Has aged very well. I mean, I don't know. I would need to go back and watch it. Maybe I should go back and we should do like a pop-up video. Should do pop-up videos where I go and correct the record on every video. Anyway, yeah, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen and everyone else, Virtual Reality Hell, Part 1. Originally published July 21st, 2022. In this episode, we meet Amanda Rabb and her dad Larry on Mark Leta's Soft White Underbelly channel. We also meet Lima Takali Mora Yevrimovich, who ends up making a series of poor decisions over the ensuing years. Again, July 21st, 2022, original publication date. Virtual Reality Hell, Part 1. A BJ Investigates. Iconoclastic moment. What does iconoclast mean? Is that bad? Beep. Change-making moment. Yes.
My name is Mark Leta, and I produce the videos that you see on my channel, Soft White Underbelly.
Mark gets into people's stories, those living on the fringes, drug addicts, prostitutes, gang members. You shot thousands of videos. You're super prolific.
4,000 so far.
4,000, okay.
I spent most of my career helping wealthy corporations become even wealthier. I wanted to do something that mattered more in the world. Amanda, where are you from? Where'd you grow up? Do you see that you're kind of getting worse and worse every time we speak? You're going to do whatever it takes to get your money for crack. So if your dad and I give you a little bit of cash. All right, so Lima Yevrimovich. You have a company called Aura.
Amanda is the most difficult case. We're going to be documenting exactly how we're getting Amanda into treatment. The way that you get somebody that doesn't want to get help into treatment is through something called an LPS conservatorship. It feels like a betrayal to that person, but at the same time, Amanda's in a safe place now. She had passed away. It's been a really, really big shock for us.
I'm like in the cut, and then I'm gonna get murdered. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm behind the scenes, I'm annoying everybody, and then I get murdered. And I don't want no girl close to my age doing my thoughts and video gaming me, so nah, I'm not feeling it.
Sometime in February, I was on the internet, definitely not minding my own business, and someone told me, this guy, you know, you vaguely remember from your childhood, Bam Margera.
I'm Bam Margera.
An actor from Jackass.
And I feel like kicking my dad's ass all day today.
Is in a conservatorship.
So yeah, he's in a program, and the good thing is now is he's under a conservatorship.
And I went to the media.
The last person I left is Dr. Phil, or else I give up.
It was unidentified callers whenever the callers were clearly identified.
I went there thinking I was going to do 30 days, but they insisted that I do 90 days.
You're not going to find anything in the media. And again, like, I had to go to the court documents. Searched in Pinellas County, found and confirmed that Bam was in some type of conservatorship. It was sealed, but some information was available.
Having bipolar disorder, taking Adderall, none of those are reasons for conservatorship.
One of those things was the name Lima Takali Yevrimovich as the petitioner. The petitioner on a conservatorship is usually the person who wants to be the conservator, but again, it was sealed, so we have no 100% way of knowing whether it was Lima. I can say with certainty now, Lima was his guardian in a Maricopa County conservatorship. So the next thing was Googling her to see if I could find any information out on her.
very first results that came up for Lima was her appearance on a YouTube channel called Soft White Underbelly. Now this YouTube channel is run by a photographer called Mark Leta. Basically what I was able to figure out is he interviews people mainly in the Skid Row area. A lot of the people who he interviews are without homes. They often struggle with substance use issues, dependence, etc.
You know, people say, oh, what you're doing is exploitive all the time. Look, a hotel, the hotel I'm staying at while I'm here in Tampa, they're exploiting my need to sleep. The restaurant that I had breakfast at is exploiting my hunger. Everything is exploitive. Yes, they're exploitive. If I take a drug addict and I do an interview with her, she takes the hit because she's been made to look bad. No, I didn't trick her into doing that. She came to me, or I might have asked her and said, you know, but I tell everybody right up front, like, this is going to be on YouTube. How much drug addiction can you actually watch? You know, it's like, so but people love those. You know, you put up an attractive female heroin addict, that'll get a lot of views. So it's all that. And let me just get this straight. The sun and the government will make me extra horny if I have sex with you?
Yes.
What are you doing tonight? I'm doing this for myself. I'm not doing it for anybody else. I'm not trying to make anybody happy. Some people say, oh, I hate these Appalachian people. Stop doing that. Get back to the drug addicts. And other people say these Appalachian things are great. That's all I watch. I don't give a fuck. I've been a photographer since I was 14. And I spent most of my career doing advertising work. So I'm basically helping wealthy corporations become even wealthier. And that became, I realized as I got older, that was my legacy. And I didn't feel comfortable with that. So I wanted to do something that mattered more in the world. It's not to help the addict that's outside my door. Even though I've done that many times. I've spent, over the last 10 years, I've talked with about 1,000 people, and financially, I've probably spent $150,000. I've helped some addicts. That's a personal thing I do, has nothing to do with this channel. I'm just showing you some things that are wrong with the country.
And so Lima was on Mark Leta's channel.
I give the doctors the tools to see, so if you tell me you're fine, and I look and I can see that you're not fine, addicts are master manipulators.
And I was like, well, this is strange. Why is Bam Margera's conservator on Mark Leta's channel talking about virtual reality?
We also use virtual reality so we can put patients in triggering environments.
So she talks about her company Aura, which is a digital health startup, but essentially what the startup does is uses virtual reality goggles on people with drug addiction. And I quickly discover that Lima and Mark had teamed up to help one of Mark's subjects. Lima ended up being in charge of this subject's life, and now this subject, whose name is Amanda Rabb, was dead. I start looking into Lima, and turns out this is not her only and first startup. She had some company, at least one, maybe two. It seemed like the type of program you could do to shorten your jail time or something, and that's all I was able to tell factually. Now, what I can speculate is that Lima was looking for a targeted group of test subjects, and prisoners seem easy, right? Because she could have easily gotten government funding if she was helping prisoners. So that didn't work. I don't know why. That was just my assumption. And then you see Aura.
All right, so Lima Yabramovich?
Yabramovich.
You have a company called Aura. And what do you guys do?
So we're all about data-driven healing. Our goal is to use technology to scale affordable, high-quality treatment services. We also use virtual reality so we can put patients in triggering environments. And you know, for example, we put a patient in a bar.
Walking VIP, don't need no drink, take his buddy.
Or for our veterans, we put them in a war zone. They're just not willing to let someone in, so you kind of have to find a way to gain their trust.
Lima kept mentioning a woman named Amanda.
Amanda is the most difficult case. We're going to be documenting exactly how we're getting Amanda into treatment.
Something else has happened with Amanda that kind of helped, right?
Yes.
She ended up in jail.
Exactly.
Once I figured out that there were like 15 or 16 different videos in this Amanda, Lima, Mark Leta series of events, I began to watch them in order. My first question was, well, who is this Amanda person Lima keeps referencing? Because I had never seen Soft White Underbelly before. I didn't watch the channel. So on December 14th, 2019, the first video of Amanda appears on Soft White Underbelly. She says a number of things in that first video. First of all, she, off the bat, calls her father a molester and says that is the reason why she had to move out from living with her father. Now, Amanda is introduced to us as a homeless prostitute, but she explains her homelessness situation in those first appearances on Soft White Underbelly.
No, I didn't have a mom growing up, so it was just me and my father. I had to move to my mom's family's house, so I grew up with them. I just went with them. It was just a better situation.
Any problems with that?
No.
Tell me about your family. You grew up with both of your parents?
Yeah, I grew up with my auntie and uncle. They took me in because I lived with my dad. He turned out to be a molester, so his wife left him.
She says she used to live with her father. She says her mother is dead. She says her father was a molester, so she moved in with her aunt and uncle, and now today she could live with her father, who does have an apartment, but he's a molester. She says those things. Now, this is important because later on in this series of videos over the course of months and years, Amanda Rabb's father would make an appearance as the savior of Amanda. During one such domicile situation, he attempted to put her in a conservatorship. Amanda does come across, just generally in these videos, to the average viewer, most likely as crazy, unhinged, very paranoid, rambling, and perhaps unable to share a reality, right, with the person she's talking to. But I went into watching Amanda's videos with a very open mind. I wanted to hear what she had to say, and it was traumatic and painful for me to even watch the videos. So I don't even pretend to know what it must have felt like for Amanda to be in these videos. But I mean, she talked a lot about things that people would immediately write someone off for talking about. She talked about there being electronic versions of herself running around Skid Row, which sounds crazy until you see that the treatment that she would later be subjected to against her will would be, in fact, a virtual reality version of Skid Row. She would have an avatar in the world, so there would be electronic versions of her running around Skid Row.
There's different me's running around here electronic, and I want to know who is doing that. What the fuck? You need to stop. Oh my God! When I was smoking, I'm in the cut, and then I'm gonna get murdered. You know what I'm saying? I'm behind the scenes, I'm annoying everybody, and then I get murdered.
So over the course of the videos, Amanda appears several times and is interviewed. She becomes kind of a repeat player on the Soft White Underbelly channel, and each time she appears to be in slightly different physical condition. Now, it does appear as though Amanda's physical condition does get worse. She loses teeth, she seems to lose weight. Mark Leta begins to drop clues in his videos about his intervention in Amanda's life.
I feel uncomfortable. The guy videotaping me right now is making me feel like he regrets helping me right now. So
I don't regret helping you.
Yeah.
I would love to help you. You're lucky to have the dad you do.
Yeah.
Your family and I, and a few other people that have known you in the past, are trying to help you.
No, they're not.
Yes, we are.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we are.
There's different me's running around here electronic, and I want to know who is doing that. You need to stop.
He says things like he brings Amanda clothes, or he'll try to come and talk to Amanda, and Amanda admits in these videos to running away from Mark. Mark also says something along the lines of, you know, Amanda, Dad and I give you money because we know that you will do whatever you need to do and whatever it takes to get money for crack, and we don't want you to have to expose yourself to all that. So in my opinion, that is Mark Leta admittedly financially enabling a woman who he knows to be suffering with a crack addiction with money in order to buy crack.
Your dad and I give you money to avoid you doing more dangerous things for your addiction that you're gonna do whatever it takes to get your money for crack. So if your dad and I give you a little bit of cash.
Now, not all of Mark's subjects are repeat players. Not all of them come back. It seems to me most of them do not. Amanda came back and appeared on Mark Laita's Soft White Underbelly on March 1st, 2020.
Because I lived with my dad, he turned out to be a molester, so his wife left him.
She appeared again for a third interview on April 15th, 2020.
Amanda, do you see that you're kind of getting worse and worse every time we speak?
Then on May 30th, we have Lima doing another YouTube collaboration, this time with a YouTuber named 16Leo.
This video is in collaboration with 16Leo.
How exactly does DID happen? So is Aura a result of you trying to help out your sisters?
Yes, actually, Aura was bloomed from a desire to help my sisters, but it also exists to better treatment for all mental health illnesses.
Now, Lima would go on to make various YouTube appearances, and she would talk mostly and predominantly about Aura and her technology.
Hi, I'm Lima Abramovich, and I'm the founder of Autonomous User Rehabilitation Agent, or Aura for short.
She would use the same talking points on each one.
If we put more services, more funding behind mental health services,
kind of seemed like a PR marketing strategy to me. So she would say things like, you know, insurance doesn't cover enough days in rehab.
they go to treatment for 30 days because that's what insurance will cover. It costs about $45,000 per month for somebody to get treatment in a residential facility. It's very expensive, but the relapse rate is 90%. Insurance companies are saying, we're not going to fund 45 when you have such a high relapse rate. If she wasn't cash paying, she would have been released in 2 days from that video.
So she had the same kind of talking points over and over, and she had this virtual reality program that she was marketing to people with substance use disorder, is what she calls it. So by July, Lima already knew about Amanda and was working in concert with Amanda's father, who she called a molester, and Mark Laita, who was paying her, admittedly, knowing to go buy crack with, and they all conspired to make sure that Amanda went to jail. This is what happened. Larry Rabb called Mark Laita. Hello, Mark. Yes, Mark Laita here. Well, how can I help you? Yes, Amanda assaulted me. What do I do? Mark Laita says, oh, you should definitely call the police and get her in jail because that's the only way we're gonna be able to help her. Oh, okay, I'll do that. Thank you, Mark. Okay, cool, let me know how it goes. Okay, bye. Okay, bye. So basically that happened. So then Larry calls 911, calls the police, Amanda gets put in jail. Now listen, do not take this as me excusing criminal activity. I do not. We have a criminal justice system for a reason, and it is based on innocence until proven guilty and fundamental principles like due process of law, being able to hire your own lawyer, not having or being coerced to testify against yourself. So for the criminal justice system, we have a system. It could be better, it could be refined and reformed, but I do believe in it. And I do think that when you commit crimes, and especially when those crimes are harming other people physically, you should have to deal in some capacity with the criminal justice system. So this assault happened in context of a lot of other moving parts, all right? And I would prefer if you just please keep an open mind, stay with me till the end of the story, because I think you might think something different at the end of it. So we have Lima ramping up her social media activity, right? She's doing Dissociated, huge YouTubers.
I consider myself being part of a DID system.
My name is Sally.
My name is Nina.
My name is Jade.
My name is Mara.
Hello everybody, this is Chloe. Welcome back to another video by Dissociated, and today I have Lima here with me.
Lima got Dissociated, who has 1 million subscribers, on Lima's channel as her first YouTube video ever.
Oh my God.
Hi everyone. So I work in mixed reality and mental health.
Today you're here to talk about it with me.
Exactly.
Yeah, Lima's doing some really exciting things that I think is really going to change the future of mental health and how we treat it, especially in inpatient therapy and speaking with doctors. You've got a lot of people on board, and I really think that what you're doing can make a big difference.
Hi everyone, welcome to my first video with Chloe from Dissociated.
16Leo, huge YouTuber.
All right, Lima, let me ask you a few questions.
Yeah.
Can you explain dissociative identity disorder?
Dissociative identity disorder, or DID, was previously called multiple personality disorder.
She's getting a YouTube channel. Her sisters also are YouTubers who Lima has taken over their social media accounts and is advertising Aura. If you go to Lima's website, meetaura.io, you will see under her press or whatever tab that she still has Amanda up and is advertising using Amanda. Amanda's dead. And also on her website, she has a whole section on a step-by-step procedural process, how you can put your family member into a conservatorship or take over their rights, just like she did to Amanda. So step one on Aura's website, Lima's website, is conservatorship or jail. Step two is detox. Step three, I don't know. I never really stopped being flabbergasted by conservatorship or jail. So she's telling you in the open, out in the open, that her tactics involve putting someone into a conservatorship or jail, okay? So if you watched the Bam Margera video, you might have said something like, well, how do you know Bam wasn't trying to escape court-ordered treatment? Well, how do you know he didn't choose court-ordered treatment over jail? He might have, because Lima's MO is to force somebody to choose between a conservatorship under her or jail under jail. And I guess most people don't know what a conservatorship is. Lima was telling everyone, these homes, these rehab facilities are so nice. She would go there for a vacation. It's like a luxury facility. You get to play games. Anybody would choose that over jail if that's the two options they were given. But that is not the reality, and that is not what happened. So Lima, Mark, and Larry get Amanda put in jail in Los Angeles. While she's in jail, Lima visits her and they talk about the conservatorship, getting out, whatever. August 1st, so that means after Amanda was put in jail, Lima shows up on Soft White Underbelly for the first time to talk about Aura.
Lima Yavramovich?
Yavramovich.
You have a company called Aura.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you guys do?
So we're all about data-driven healing.
She talks about starting a scholarship program.
Yes, so I'm actually starting the scholarship program. I just registered a nonprofit called the Yavramovich Institute of Behavior and Brain Sciences. And so the reason for that is initially because I work in mental health. I know the industry inside and out when it comes to insurance and facilities.
She is the worst guardian ever. Yeah. I'm sorry.
All of the politics behind it.
She introduces herself, introduces Aura, says what she's about, and then she says to Mark, I'm hoping your viewers will help me to pick someone out to win an Aura scholarship.
They're able to attend an Aura facility, so treatment centers that use our technology receive 3 months of residential care, and then after the 3 months of residential care, they're put into an outpatient program. They go home, so they have a little bit more freedom. But the home is a sober living, and there's a lot of sketchy sober livings out there, but the ones that we work with also have the Aura technology. It costs about $250,000 conservatively.
And then additionally, we'll do you want to do a GoFundMe campaign for this scholarship, right?
That would be incredible.
And then we'll choose somebody to be decided later that you think would be a good candidate for this?
Absolutely.
This is after Amanda was in jail. She might have been in jail during the filming of this.
That'll be somebody that I've interviewed on my channel.
Exactly. And we can do updates with that person.
I wish you the best of luck with it.
Yeah, and so...
sounds incredible.
Well, I'd love to work with you to fill in the first scholarship person from one of the people that you've interviewed.
Exciting.
That would be awesome. We can do an update for your guests.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
They didn't think anybody was going to put the timeline together because they would later tell us, and I'll admit in the open, and I have this clip, that they worked together using Lima's expertise. Lima already had the papers. Lima already had the stuff ready to go. They all worked together.
And I thank you, Mark, for introducing me to Lima and Ivan. What a blessing.
Yeah, and then along comes Lima.
On August 1st, Lima comes on Soft White Underbelly for the first time, saying she's gonna start a scholarship program, saying that the viewers are gonna help her pick who's gonna be the one getting the scholarship and all of that.
We'll do you want to do a GoFundMe campaign for this scholarship. We'll choose somebody to be decided later that you think would be a good candidate for this?
Absolutely.
But certainly already knows who she's gonna be picking.
Yeah, and so...
sounds incredible.
Well, I'd love to work with you to fill in the first scholarship person from one of the people that you've interviewed. That would be awesome.
Then August 30th, the end of the month, She's talking about treatment plans.
And we talked long and hard about who it could be, and there's lots of people that are good candidates.
And I also asked for comments from your viewers of who they wanted, right? Because the funding is coming from the viewers, and we want to listen to them. And we had an overwhelming response. We can save Amanda's life. She does not want to go to treatment. She doesn't want help.
The same day, while all that's going on, Mark Laita has the audacity to upload a whole nother interview with Amanda. I guess he figured like I should just do another interview with Amanda. I don't know.
Whoever
You're cuter than cute. You're so cute. I wish you could get clean and stay clean.
I just wanted to show off my new hairstyles. Michael.
Take off that silly wig.
And
take it off. There's a lot of people that have amazing bodies. It's called the crack diet.
You guys pulled a fast one on me. So, and I don't want no girl close to my age doing my thoughts and video gaming me, so.
She says, among other very disturbing things, I don't want no girl close to my age doing my thoughts and video gaming me. So, nah. I'm not feeling that, but I am thankful. She was already in jail when that video aired, which means she probably knew someone was going to try to video game her and do her thoughts in a virtual reality Skid Row, and she was uncomfortable with that, and she said, nah, I don't want that.
Nah, I'm not feeling it.
And she wouldn't consent to letting Lima video game her. Larry, Mark, and Lima conspired to force her. And it was easier to choose Amanda as the victim of this coerced treatment because they already had Larry Rabb. What do we know about Larry Rabb? We know that Amanda called him a molester.
She never had to engage with strange people as a child. From daycare to school, you know what I mean? So now it's just totally different.
I live with my dad. He turned out to be a molester. So his wife left him.
Whatever Amanda said about her father in that first video, it's a bunch of nonsense. So I just wanted to say that.
So I'm just a little suspicious of what's really going on here. On September 11th, Amanda's still in jail, and Lima and Larry appear again on Soft White Underbelly. So if it's September 11th, 67 days ago would be probably sometime at the end of July. Lima comes on Soft White Underbelly for the first time August 1st. And this is why we do timelines. So Larry, in the September 11th Soft White Underbelly video, says he's been trying to put Amanda Rabb into a conservatorship.
We got a call from Mark about Lima.
So last week was very interesting. That was the first week that you've been involved in Amanda's life.
Yes, absolutely.
And Larry, tell me what happened last week.
Last week, early morning, you know, you got to be at court 8:30. 8:30.
And Amanda's in jail.
She's in jail for an assault. So we have to petition to try to get conservatorship.
He sings Lima's praises. Thank you, Lima. You are a blessing from God.
And Miss Lima shows up and petitions. Her appearance and her presence made the difference.
She was able to just walk in the court and command that attention, that respect. She had the papers ready to go. Amanda does get put into court-ordered treatment. They were unsuccessful putting her into an LPS conservatorship, thank God, but they just circumvented the system, and the judge released Amanda into Lima's care. And Lima tells us on Soft White Underbelly that she took full responsibility for Amanda's care. Transported, I think they probably detoxed her in LA. So October, the next month, she enters into a treatment facility called Desert Hope Treatment Center. It's in Las Vegas, Nevada. Like Las Vegas, where it has every substance known to man. But it was an aura treatment facility. And Lima tells us that Amanda's plan is going to include virtual reality exposure therapy.
I'm Brennan Spiegel, Director of Health Services Research for Cedars-Sinai. I could not disambiguate this virtual reality from real reality.
Everything's down to the high level of details. You can even see the track marks on the person's arm right here.
And I realized at that moment that this was a technology that can overwhelm the mind, and it could be used for evil.
The virtual reality that Dr. Phil and Jay McGraw have created to help people when they get out of treatment is incredible.
I do think you can turn this around. And I I have some thoughts about this. I asked some people to come here today. You all know what virtual reality is, right? When you put on goggles and wherever you look, you feel like you are right there in the moment. I've created a virtual reality tool to help that transition go smoothly and prepare for triggers. Because I know people can be stars in rehab, it's transitioning out, and I'm trying to create a virtual reality tool to help people do that.
There's just a new way of tweaking the mind to become sort of super better in essence.
Virtual reality exposure therapy, Lima says it is unethical and illegal to put the drug of choice in front of someone who you are treating in a residential treatment facility.
For example, if you're in a treatment facility and I put your drug of choice in front of you, that would be extremely unethical. It's not allowed, right?
She said it is illegal. You can use pictures, she said, but it's illegal and unethical, and laughs. That would be unethical. Laughs, like how funny it is that it's unethical.
It would be extremely unethical. It's not allowed, right? There's no drugs on the premises. If I can put that drug of choice in front of you, just the visual of it, it's not the same as me showing you a photo, but being able to put you in a room through our virtual reality technology, being able to put you in a room where you essentially are by yourself, right? So now I'm able to test you because it's the power of VR.
She said she's worked with a man who said his rock bottom is him alone on the couch with a bottle of alcohol, and so she created an environment that looked like a living room and a bottle of alcohol, and this man put it on. So I'm not saying that's illegal. I believe it's unethical because I think showing someone a picture of a drug of choice is like a degree of extrapolation, right? It's less concrete than a virtual reality simulation. I think that should absolutely be federally regulated, that you should not be able to just toss an unconsenting person into a triggering exposure environment. But that is not what the law says right now. So this is where we are. And Lima admits to using virtual reality to trigger people with PTSD and to trigger cravings in people struggling with addiction.
We also use virtual reality so we can put patients in triggering environments.
Amanda enters into Desert Hope Treatment Center, an ARA facility in Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, interestingly, Lima posted a picture of the treatment center that Amanda was supposed to go to and never corrected the record and said that's not where she was. And it's not Desert Hope. There's a lie. And people get upset when I call Lima a liar because she has this sweet affect and she doesn't seem like evil. She's got this nice little soft voice and she seems to be, saying all the right dog whistle words, and she's, addicts and homeless and prostitution, and she uses all these scary words that get you in a state of upset. Ooh, girl, chill out. And then she offers you a solution, and so you're like, oh my God, make this trauma stop. So she must be telling the truth. I operate in one absolute thing, and that is truth. Lima didn't tell the truth. Now we've caught her in 2 lies so far on the timeline. First of all, that the audience was somehow gonna help pick Amanda.
As I've said before, she was the worst case you could find on Skid Row.
Yeah, definitely. And
took a lot of courage for you to-
probably the worst case I've ever seen personally.
It took a lot of courage for you to decide that she was the one you wanted to try to help.
Yeah, but we have a lot of confidence in what we do.
That was not true. Amanda was hand chosen because they had the cooperation of Larry Rabb. You need a family member. Number 2 lie we've now found. Lima said Amanda was going to be at a treatment facility that Amanda was not at. She was at Desert Hope Treatment Center. That is where she was. That is where she took her last breath. It wasn't the one that Lima posted on Instagram. Doesn't seem like necessary to have lied about that, but here we are. And so if y'all are upset by the word lie, maybe repeat it each day to exposure therapy yourself to it. I don't know. The end of 2021, Amanda spends in Desert Hope Treatment Center from October all the way through May when she died. So, except she did check out one day. We'll get to that. January 7th, coming to an end according to Lima's 30 to 90 days. If you entered into treatment in October, Lima told me that insurance only covers 30 to 90 days in rehab. If Amanda entered rehab around October, January 7th, Mark Laita makes his very first Instagram post ever, and it is a fundraiser for Amanda. Interestingly, this is around the time that Albert Minero Jr. enters into the story.
The people trust me. They know I'm one of them, just an everyday guy
with a passion and a purpose.
Albert Monero Jr. is the program director for Aura, but a quick Google search will show you that he is also a very prolific actor.
Hanson is a nerdapaloozer, bro. When chicks see him, they get dry.
He has been in Hollywood for at least 10 or 15 years.
We're back with my new buddy, Albert, who's looking for me to help him get relationship ready.
What do you think a woman is thinking when she walks in to see your dirty drawers sunny side up on the floor?
Haven't had any here for a while.
The goal is to get some here.
Yeah.
I want you to keep that in mind.
Okay.
No undies on the floor.
Okay. I don't know what to say.
Something's wrong with his mind.
Okay.
So what? Does he even know what he was turning
This is
on?
not a tag team event. One of you speaks and the other doesn't, and that's how it works. In my courtroom, you are under oath, which means you do not lie. And you tell the truth.
He's appeared in Lima Yevremovich's twin sister's YouTube videos. He's appeared in Instagram stories of Bam Margera's wife, Nikki. Bam Margera's brother-in-law has featured Albert Monero Jr. on his channel, but he also happens to be the program director of Aura. In January, when Mark Leta was posting on Instagram trying to raise funds for Amanda's treatment, it's also the same month Albert Monero Jr. would have met Amanda.
Amanda, you coming into my life had such a humongous effect that I could never have known when I first met you.
March 2021, Lima goes on the Meet Aura Instagram account and announces that her twin sisters, who both allegedly have dissociative identity disorder, not sure how they're telling us that.
My sisters, who are identical twins, have had some mental health struggles. They were diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder, which is more commonly known as multiple personality disorder.
In February, Lima announces on her Meet Aura Instagram account that her sisters will start using Aura technology in March 2021. So March 2021, the sisters are being used as guinea pigs for the Aura virtual reality exposure therapy. She credits them with being the reason why she even knows about all this stuff in the first place, because her sisters have been in and out of behavioral health centers and inpatient, outpatient, whatever. So she says that's how she learned how to navigate the whole system of it all. April, the next month, Lima is in Las Vegas, which is where Amanda went to rehab and where Amanda was in rehab still at the time, April 2021. And then Lima posts a video on Aura's Instagram that shows Amanda using the virtual reality exposure therapy.
Oh my God! What the fuck? Oh! Oh my God!
I made it.
There's a bottle of alcohol, it's Skid Row, you're kind of in the headset with her. As if that's not dystopian enough. When you peer up on the virtual reality, you see a billboard of Bam and Nikki Margera on the side of a virtual reality building. And it's like, thanks for backing our company, blah, blah, whatever.
So Bam and Nikki Margera, you probably know them from Jackass. They were so moved by Amanda's story that they've pledged to help support this publicly and help me fundraise for Amanda and for the scholarship to help raise more money. So in order to say thank you to them, our team has a bunch of virtual cities inside our virtual reality system. So we made a billboard for them, and that was on the Skid Row experience that we put Amanda in.
Same month, Lima posts again on Instagram thanking Bam and his wife Nikki for supporting Aura. And then on April 17th, Lima posts another video on the Aura YouTube applying for grants. In January, they were asking audience for money. He had 2 GoFundMe's going. I think maybe 3 were going in total. I think that she probably was trying to get money from Bam and Nikki. And that brings into question whether that is ethical or appropriate for someone who is basically an investor in your business and now you put them under a conservatorship. Like, I don't know about the actual laws behind that, but that doesn't seem appropriate, that you could be someone's guardian or conservator and they have purchased a stake in your business. So all that's going on in April, and then wouldn't you know, May 9th, Mother's Day, last year, 2021, Amanda Rabb was found dead in her bed, face down in a messy, disheveled room at like 9:30 in the morning.
So I'm just gonna read it word for word of what we got. The cause of death was marked as a seizure disorder.
What the fuck? Oh!
Myself and the investigation team have requested Amanda's autopsy report.
Megalopolis could never, sincerely. Anyway, yeah, whoo, that was a hoot, right? Well, buckle up because we got a couple more installments, girl. Not even 2-3 weeks goes by, and guess what? I got sued. That was the only video about Amanda Rabb. Maybe that Bam Margera video might have mentioned her. Sued, and this video would lie in the aftermath.
I would like to thank Lima. Actually, I'll thank Neville. Please inform your client, because a jury of my peers is going to decide this case. And the facts at hand are whether you're a liar. As I'm sure you can probably tell from the title of this video, this is not part 2 of the Amanda Rabb story. But I do have an update for y'all about the story. Basically, Lima's suing me. I honestly didn't want to go to court. I was trying to stay out of court. Y'all heard me say that. But alas, here we are. Part 2 of Amanda Rabb's story is definitely coming, and I have a lot more to say. In the meantime, unless I want to devote literally every waking hour to fighting this lawsuit because Lima has hired celebrity defamation attorneys, I'm gonna need some legal assistance. I do have 2 very great lawyers who I actually trust and are very smart, and they are prepared, competent, and ready. But I have faith in them. And so in the meantime, while I'm continuing to tell this story, it would really mean a lot to me, and I would really appreciate if y'all could pitch into the legal fund. I'm gonna put it across the screen right here. I'm gonna link it below. I really don't like to ask for stuff. I don't. And it's kind of like embarrassing to have to do it. But the truth is the truth. What is right is right. Amanda Rabb was taken from the street where she had been living for years and put into court-ordered treatment. The person responsible for Amanda's treatment and care is Lima Yevremovich. Amanda spent months in a rehab center before she was used as a case study with Lima's experimental virtual reality drug and schizophrenia treatment.
We're gonna use Amanda as a case study.
1 month later, Amanda Rabb was found dead in the court-ordered treatment center.
She had passed away. It's been a really, really big shock for us.
And then Lima, months and months after Amanda died, went back again onto Mark Leta's channel, Soft White Underbelly, and appeared as the star of a video with 1.6 million views entitled Amanda Autopsy Results. And in the Amanda Autopsy Results video, Lima said that Amanda's cause of death was a seizure disorder. It was not. That was not true. And so I started making videos about it, calling that a lie. And now I'm getting sued over it. We gotta live where the truth is the truth and a lie is a lie. This is not just my story. This is Amanda Rabb's story. This is a story about a broken system. This is a story about the truth. How is our money being used? How are very powerful men using their platforms? To what end? Who pays the price? This is our story. And Lima Yevremovich doesn't want me to keep telling it. Unfortunately for her, I have a lot more to say. I got scared of Lima Yevremovich's celebrity defamation attorney. I got scared of him. So I would like to thank Lima. Actually, I'll thank Neville. Please inform your client, because a jury of my peers is going to decide this case. And the facts at hand are whether you're a liar.
Started to catch on. Other people were making videos about it too.
But also people were also making videos before, which I relied on. Yeah. That's the thing too. It's like a lot of people thank me for bringing a lot of eyes to this case and stuff like that. But the reality is, if there were not other people before me that watched this story transpire in real time, who had posted on Reddit, who had made a video or two. I mean, one lady had three videos. I don't know if any of them are up still. But there were people, the Great Plague, he had made a video or two, and specifically about Amanda. So there was public interest already, and there was public criticism. Lima mentioned the public criticism. She said in one of the videos with Larry Rabb, where she was on Soft White Underbelly, she said, the hate mail, the hate messages have been horrible, or whatever. And this is like a year and a half or more, maybe a year and a half, a year and 10 months before I ever found out she existed. She was already talking about death threats. I think she might've talked about stalking. And it was like, almost like when she finally did sue, it was like, wait a second, she's been saying this same stuff about people for a year or two. What? And I'm not saying nothing new. Because if you will recall, those who are watching this, I'm glad we're doing this in this intermission right now. I had not even talked about them inaccurately reporting Amanda's cause of death in part 1. I hadn't even said it. They lied is where I said it the first time on That Surprise Witness. And it wasn't until Virtual Reality Hell Part 2, the funeral from Virtual Reality Hell, that I finally did. I'm gonna read word by word up what we got. So Lima, you're back on the channel. You've waited, how many long has it been? 7 months? Since April, since May? It's December. She's wearing a sweater now. Title of the video. Oh man, I know I've said this many times, but I got sued over this and I had to come out hundreds of thousands of dollars over it. And it's just the freaking truth. Woo! Get your notebook out. This is why I got sued. This video, Exhibit A, this specimen. Amanda's autopsy results, Lima, with no spaces in between it. Before we go any further, let's take a poll. Just take a poll. If you see this title, what do you expect in her? She has these papers in her hands. What are you expecting she's got in her hands?
The autopsy results.
Live audience, thank you very much. I agree. So what about the video starts? So Lima, it's been a while. Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since April, right? Yeah, we finally got the autopsy results. Yeah, we finally. What do you think she has in her hand? Still, audience, live audience, studio, polling.
The autopsy report.
Yep. Then she talks about why it took so long to get the autopsy results, which it was because there was a lack of evidence. And if they had had more evidence of the traumatic brain injury, then it might have been marked as a homicide. So that was a major wake-up call. So still, what's in her hand? The autopsy. There's no way to interpret it in any other way that is reasonable. And then icing on top, the cherry on top, the icing on top, the cupcake. She says, I'm just gonna read word for word of what we got. From what, y'all? Is there any option for anything else besides her to be reading off the autopsy? I mean, I hope I remember to set up a poll. Probably won't. She says, as you know, it's internet lore at this point. 1.4 million views. Oh no, that's on the first one. That ain't even on the They Lied. That ain't even on Funeral from Virtual Reality Hell. She ain't even lied yet.
Thank you all for joining us today as we gather to celebrate the incredible yet tragically short life of Amanda Rabb.
Some people don't get the chance to get older. Some people have their lives taken from them without their consent. Why should we need to hide that?
Y'all, she is literally screaming for help and telling us.
Oh my God! You guys put a fast one on me. I don't want no girl close to my age doing my thoughts and video gaming me, so.
We're going to use Amanda as a case study. We did some virtual reality exposure therapy, so we put her in some triggering environments. We're going to be documenting exactly how we're getting Amanda into treatment.
She first went on there and she looked completely different. Then the next time she go on there, she looked worse, and she get worse and worse.
The way that you get somebody that doesn't want to get help into treatment is through something called an LPS conservatorship. And that's what we're using for Amanda.
When I was smoking, I'm like in the cut, and then I'm going to get murdered. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm behind the scenes, I'm annoying everybody, and then I get murdered.
She had passed away. They did the autopsy. They looked at her medical records.
What the fuck? Oh!
Now, as y'all know.
And so I'm just gonna read it word for word of what we got. The cause of death was marked as a seizure disorder.
I have those autopsy results.
I called those statements lies. As a result, I'm getting sued for defamation. Facts ain't defamation. In the last episode, we were discussing the sudden, unexpected passing of Amanda Rabb. Now, as you would have seen on part 1 of Virtual Reality Hell, Amanda was taken off the streets as a subject and eventually treated as a case study for an experimental virtual reality treatment program that used virtual reality that was not FDA approved for any medical purpose.
Hi, I'm Limi Abramovich, and I'm the founder of Autonomous User Rehabilitation Agent, or AURA for short.
To help or cure addiction? I don't really know. So we're right in the middle of that investigation, and what we're about to look into is how Amanda actually passed away. Amanda Rabb, at 25 years old, passed away in a treatment center in Las Vegas, Nevada. It was called Desert Hope Treatment Center. Only a few short days after her passing, Lima Yevremovich, along with Amanda Rabb's purported father, showed up on Mark Leta's channel, Soft White Underbelly, in order to inform everyone in the audience that Amanda had passed.
The treatment center staff walked into Amanda's room thinking that she was just peacefully sleeping and realized that she had passed away. It's been a really, really big shock for us. And my brain hasn't really been able to comprehend it.
Now, during that May 15th video, Lima said that there was no foul play involved in Amanda's death. Remember, this is like a week after Amanda died.
Any foul play, any self-harm, anything in that nature was already ruled out.
And Lima says, I know they did a toxicology report.
I know that they did a toxicology report.
Only thing she had in her system was Tylenol.
All she had in her system was Tylenol.
A few months would go by and Albert Monero Jr., who we've met from the last video and who you're going to meet in this video as well.
In my courtroom, you are under oath, which means you do not lie and you tell the truth.
He would go to another podcast on YouTube a couple months later and he would say,
They just found her and they did a toxicology test and she didn't have anything but like Tylenol in her system. So
yeah,
like
no.
He would allow the host of the podcast to perpetuate the story that Amanda only had Tylenol in her system.
She didn't have anything but like Tylenol in her system.
Very interestingly, that portion of the podcast no longer exists on Joel Marshall's channel as of the date of the recording of this video. But don't worry, I have the clip.
And then unfortunately, you know, she passed away at the facility.
What we're going to do right now is we're going to watch the video that Lima posted herself on her YouTube channel of Amanda's funeral. Let's get into it. So the first thing we have is a couple paragraphs. Amanda's short-lived life was a loss felt by millions who watched her struggle and incredible recovery. Because of those who sent prayers, cards, gifts, and donations to help her heal, she transformed her life. Well, and I guess now her death, because she's dead. I felt compelled, this is Lima speaking, to make this video to hold on to the positive memories she left behind. In an effort to protect the family's privacy, I did not share their personal goodbyes. Okay, so let's see what's going on in this video.
Thank you all for joining us today as we gather to celebrate the incredible yet tragically short life of Amanda Rabb. These past 2 weeks have been extremely difficult for all of us.
The first thing I'm thinking is, what is with this casket? Because I know she was cremated and dumped onto the shoreline of Venice Beach. I'm not a funeral expert. I really don't know. But it's interesting to me that they didn't have enough money to bury Amanda, but they had enough money for like this balloon arrangement and casket. And then there's flowers are very expensive. When I was planning my dad's funeral, I mean, there's flowers and I don't know. I have questions, but that's just where I am in this case.
But most of all for Larry, who has been the light in Amanda's life through the happiest of her times and her darkest
turned out to be a molester.
The scholarship I originally started to help Amanda, I've since renamed after Amanda. Her legacy will continue to be one of bright and happy sunshine days through Amanda's Light Scholarship Program.
This woman has no shame. She is now using Amanda's funeral as an opportunity to advertise the scholarship, Amanda's Light Scholarship Program.
She will continue to live on through my work and the lives she continues to touch and inspire through her story.
I don't want to give you any of my money so you can do to my family member what happened to Amanda? Listen to your damn self.
I take comfort in knowing that Amanda not only overcame her own darkness, but that she will continue to be a light for those who are lost and seemingly hopeless.
Amanda's Light Scholarship Program at her funeral?
Her legacy will continue to be one of bright and happy sunshine days through Amanda's Light Scholarship Program.
This is preposterous. This is obscene. This is obscene. Honestly, y'all, I cannot watch one more second of this shit. It is so preposterous and outlandish. I'm gonna get to the next part of the video where they're now dumping Amanda's ashes, seemingly in violation of federal and state statute. When you dump in somebody's human remains on the shoreline of a beach, there's kids out there playing. There's people out there having a nice old fancy afternoon at the beach. Comment below. Have you ever poured a relative or a loved one's ashes at sea? If so, what all did you have to go through? What all parameters, loopholes, and all that? You comment below. And you know what? Let's watch it together.
Well, Amanda Bear, here we are, back at Venice Beach. We went so often just to get a burger and fries, just to walk around. And no, I'm not getting in the water again today.
Okay, Larry said, no, I'm not getting in the water again today.
But this was one of our favorite spots because she loved it here and I loved it here. And every time we would come, it would be a toss-up. What are we gonna eat today? So I always let her make the choice. She thought she was gonna make the choice.
What is he talking about?
Coming here today is like a closure for me. Coming full circle with my Amanda Bear.
He turned out to be a molester.
Okay. Now we're really getting into why we're here.
Are you asking me the question or no?
Yes, if you could say anything to Amanda right now and she could hear you, what would you say?
Y'all see this man?
Amanda, you coming into my life had such a humongous effect that I could never have known when I first met you.
Y'all might remember him from the Virtual Reality Hell Part 1.
The first to really stand out in the crowd was Albert Monero.
1, 2, 3, trick that. So I can sing, I can dance, I can act, and personality. Yeah, you know, it's like there's 4. You ever heard of a quadruple threat before?
He had appeared in a video with the Takali twins.
Chloe, alongside her assistant, perform routine checkups as well as more complicated procedures.
In the next part of this series, you're gonna find out we don't really know where they are.
A desperate search is underway for a woman who went missing in West Hollywood. Dahlia Takali was last seen yesterday around 5 p.m. on North Genesee Avenue near Santa Monica Boulevard.
And all kind of court documents and all kind of crazy stuff's going on with that, but we don't even have time in this episode to get into it. But this man right here,
It's weird that I feel like I know you so well because I've only known you for about 6 months.
somehow is connected to Lima's twin sisters.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Waterbridge.
He said that used to be his best friend.
You are HIV positive.
Now Lima's his best friend.
No, I just want to cap off about Aura and say, you know, the CEO and my best friend, Lima Yavramovich, this is her baby.
This
is her child.
Yeah, I've seen
And
her.
you're going to hear that name, you know, you're going to hear that name in the future, I promise you, because I've never met anybody so intelligent and so caring.
In this video, he says Larry Rabb's his best friend.
I feel like Larry's the best friend I've had forever.
The man got all kind of best friends. I only got like 1 to 2 best friends at any given time, but I'm not him. His name gonna flash across the screen as Albert Monero, Aura Program Director. Well, I invite you to go look him up. Because Aura Program Director ain't the first thing that comes up. The man got a prolific acting career. He'd been on Nickelodeon, on a Dan Schneider show. It's like, what is going on with this man? What are his qualifications? I don't know, but when I was sitting there watching this video for the first time by myself in my office alone, this video quite literally brought me to tears. And it wasn't that eulogy. It was watching Albert Monero Jr., who I don't even know who this man is, what his qualifications are, what he's an actor, he's a program director for a behavioral experimental virtual reality. I don't know who he is or why he's here. The way he's talking about Amanda and smiling as if her death was anything other than a complete and total tragedy. And then, I don't know. Y'all, seriously, go watch the video yourself. Tell me your feelings. But when I watched it for the first time, it brought me to tears, and not in a good way. Something's going on here. Okay, the question was, if you could say anything to Amanda right now, what would it be?
I feel like every time I hang out with your father, I get to see you. Love your dad. If I'm being totally honest, I feel like you brought Larry into my life. I feel like Larry's the best friend I've had forever. So you did that for me, Amanda, and I need it, and he needed it.
I love your dad, and to be totally honest, I feel like you brought him into my life. That's your eulogy?
I can't get away from it. That's something.
He always wanted Larry in the water. He never would go in the water. He finally got in the water.
He got me in the water. Oh, he finally got me in the water. Thank you, Albert. Man.
I'm like gonna cry. It's so fucked up. These people are living in the upside down, and I refuse to live there with them.
I love you. I know your dad loves you more than anything.
He turned out to be a molester.
The shit is fucked. In that video I mentioned earlier where, Lima says there was only Tylenol in Amanda's system, she mentions that they still, are waiting for more information or something like that. Months go by, and now it's December 2021. This is just last year. I mean, not even a year ago. Lima comes back on Mark Laita's channel.
All right, Lima. Welcome back again.
Thank you.
In a video entitled, Amanda's Autopsy Results Lima. It's 7 months after Amanda has passed away.
They did the autopsy. They looked at her medical records.
Amanda's autopsy results.
So I'm just gonna read it word for word of what we got.
Now, as y'all know,
the cause of death was marked as a seizure disorder.
I have those autopsy results.
And so I'm just gonna read it word for word of what we got. The cause of death was marked as a seizure disorder. Amanda never had seizures prior to being homeless, and they believe that it was post-traumatic epilepsy, but they couldn't mark it as post-traumatic epilepsy because of a lack of evidence.
So what we're gonna do today on this video is do a little bit of old school comparison and contrast to what is being said.
And so I'm just gonna read it word for word of what we got.
And what was written down. Myself and the investigation team have requested Amanda's autopsy report. Then we will decide together what we think might have really happened. So in that video, the first thing out of anyone's mouth, Mark Laita from behind the camera says, "So Lima, you're back."
All right, Lima.
All right.
Welcome back again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We haven't seen you in a while.
Yep.
Yes, she says I'm back. Then he says,
We have the autopsy results for Amanda.
Lima says, "Yes, we do."
Yes, we do.
Now, very importantly, Lima is sitting on that same chair everybody always sits in, holding about 2 pieces of paper in her hands.
All right, Lima.
All right.
Welcome back again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We haven't seen you in a while.
Yep.
So we finally, after how many months now? It's been like...
It's been since April.
9 months or something?
April, May.
We have the autopsy results for Amanda.
Yes, we do.
which just came a couple days ago. Tell me what you know.
And so I'm just gonna read it word for word of what we got. The cause of death was marked as a seizure disorder.
Remember, Amanda's autopsy results -Lima. First thing out of Mark Laita's mouth, Lima, you're back. We got the autopsy results. Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
And then he says they just came a couple days ago, which I have a really difficult time reconciling with reality.
Which just came a couple days ago.
Because this autopsy report that I have right here, that I've triple checked is the only one, says it was ready in September. That video's in December, so I think she probably had gotten it way more than a couple days ago, but I really don't know. She's holding about 2 pieces of paper in her hand, and then she proceeds to say the reason it took so long was because it was some type of lack of evidence.
Yeah, so the reason that it took so long is because there was a lot of lack of documentation because Amanda was homeless. And so basically what they used was they did the autopsy, they looked at her medical records.
Me and Larry, that's Amanda's dad, who you just saw dumping her ashes onto the beach.
I can't get away from it. That's something.
I live with my dad. He turned out to be a molester.
Me and Amanda's dad actually even sent in evidence. They sent in evidence. Have y'all ever heard of that?
And then Larry and I also sent in your videos to kind of show her condition from the drug use and the beatings that she took. And we also had some photographs.
Now, if y'all don't know this already, if you follow my other channels, you do. Trigger alert warning. I lost my father from a drug addiction. My dad died in 2017 overdosing on drugs. We didn't find that out immediately. The first thing they told us was he had a heart attack. About 3 months went by, they got a toxicology report, and then they told us the heart attack was caused by drugs. It sent him into a cardiac arrest or something like that. So there was not 3 toxicology reports for that to be done. There was 1. And I promise y'all, did not one person send in evidence to the coroner to get a result, okay? Nobody sent nothing in. We were crying, grieving, trying to go about our lives, trying to recover. We got that news. Of course, that was really difficult for us to deal with, but at no time were we in a communication with the coroner, with the autopsy people, at no time. And we did not get 3 toxicology reports done like we're done here. So I don't really know what was going on during that time, but I believe that the public has a right to know what was going on. I think we should know who was sending emails back and forth. What was really going on that resulted in this taking so long? Because Lima told us on Soft White Underbelly, it was a lack of evidence.
But they couldn't mark it as post-traumatic epilepsy because of a lack of evidence. So
she and Larry sent in videos from Mark Laita's channel.
Larry and I also sent in your videos to kind of show her condition from the drug use.
Why would someone do that?
If the traumatic brain injury and the assaults were well documented, they would have most likely marked it as a homicide. So that was a major wake-up call for all of us.
So y'all remember that whole thing about the only has Tylenol in her system? Not only Lima said it.
All she had in her system was Tylenol.
Based on the time of this video we're talking about, 7 months before the autopsy results video, Lima said only Tylenol in Amanda's system.
And so I think I know that they did a toxicology report.
Joel Marshall said the same thing to his followers, and Albert Monero did not correct him.
And then unfortunately, you know, she passed away at the facility.
Yeah.
She'd had so many physical issues prior that, you know, kind of caught up to her.
They just found her, and they did a toxicology test, and she didn't have anything but like Tylenol in her system. So
yeah, no, you know, the way I look at it, and her father,
He turned out to be a molester.
who I'm very close with now, looks at it, is that she was ready to go to God, and she had done what she needed to do here.
We're going to use Amanda as a case study.
What the fuck?
Are people using this out in the field yet?
We are doing case studies only right now.
Now this is public information. You can call in and request this yourself. Anyone can get that. I'm not special. Anyone can get this because the public is supposed to have access to this information. Amanda was last seen alive at the treatment center on May 8th, 2021 at about 11:55 p.m. and administered her nightly medications, which were hydralazine, that don't sound like Tylenol.
All she had in her system was Tylenol.
Losartan, gabapentin, clonidine, that don't sound like Tylenol, and risperidone, which also don't sound like Tylenol.
All she had in her system was Tylenol.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 additional medications in Amanda's system other than Tylenol.
All she had in her system was Tylenol.
Hello, y'all hearing this?
All she had in her system was Tylenol.
It can't be reconciled.
Tylenol.
She never corrected herself. We're sitting here on August, whatever it is, 2022, never corrected herself. Just wait, there's way more. Now, I do want to point out, one of the things Lima, Albert, they all perpetuate is that the reason Amanda died was because all this time she spent on the streets.
The time that Amanda spent on the street is the reason that she passed away, but Amanda was just homeless too long. Sorry. But, so people shouldn't be allowed to be homeless, and that, you know, in Amanda's case, the fact that she was allowed to use drugs for so long and that she was abused and that a lot of it wasn't reported or documented.
Her first interview with Mark Late says she had been living on the streets for years.
No, I didn't have a mom growing up.
Addicted to crack for years.
So, yeah.
And how long have you been down here?
A couple years.
She told us that. I am, of course, not condoning that. The issue is it's not my position to condone someone else's life. Amanda was entitled as an adult to make her own life decisions. They said all the time she got beat on the street.
The beatings that she took.
And RAPED and all that.
The amount of traumatic brain injury that she endured.
That was so traumatic to her. This is what Lima said, insert clip. It was so traumatic to her that that's what caused her death.
The time that Amanda spent on the street is the reason that she passed away. So the amount of traumatic brain injury that she endured, we were working on repairing her jaw because she was brutally beaten and raped so severely on multiple occasions, and 3 that Larry shared with me, but there was many more that we don't even know about.
He turned out to be a molester.
Well, page 2 says it. First bullet point. No obvious trauma.
The time that Amanda spent on the street is the reason that she passed away. So the amount of time...
Where's the trauma that killed her, according to Lima and Albert?
The amount of traumatic brain injury that she endured.
Let's get to the cause of death. You know what she said? Nobody made her say it. Nobody asked her to say it. She voluntarily said it. I'm just going to read word for word from what we got.
And so I'm just going to read it word for word of what we got.
Remember, y'all, the name of this video is Amanda's autopsy results. And she says, and I'm quoting, the cause of death was marked as a seizure disorder.
The cause of death was marked as a seizure disorder.
That's not true. The cause of death was marked as a cardiac arrhythmia. Now, there's some contributing factors. Hypertension, I think that's like high blood pressure. Obesity, she wasn't obese before she was on gabapentin and the rest. That's all I'm gonna say. And schizophrenia. Hypertension, obesity, and schizophrenia were contributing factors to her death. It does not say getting beat on the street. It does not say being homeless. It does not say not taking a bath.
So bacteria buildup can also cause a health risk to that person.
It does not say getting RAPED. It does not say that. It says cardiac arrhythmia. Now, of course, when I see Lima say the cause of death was marked as a seizure disorder.
The cause of death was marked as a seizure disorder.
I'm just wondering why that's not what the autopsy results say. And in fact, I flipped through every page. Y'all know I did. Now, some of it's redacted, but not one single place in this whole report does it say epilepsy. Does it say seizure disorder? It doesn't even say she had one seizure. Why is Lima in a video called Autopsy Results, holding papers in her hand, confirming she has the autopsy results 7 months after Amanda died, 3 months after this was available, saying that Amanda's cause of death was a seizure disorder? That's not true. Why was Lima saying that? Why, when I started calling those statements lies, did she sue me instead of just correcting the record? Hey guys, oops, sorry. I was reading from some notes. I was misunderstood. Oops. Let me correct the record publicly. No. She sued me and before suing me, demanded that I retract the statement that was a lie. Well, you tell me. Comment below. If that's not a lie, what is? Should I have retracted that? Lima Yevremovich, the guardian, the person who took legal responsibility for Amanda's treatment and care, the person who collected thousands of dollars in GoFundMe donations from Mark Laita's viewers, promising them in exchange for updates on Amanda's story. Isn't it irresponsible of her not to have read word for word? Isn't it irresponsible of her to not have corrected that Tylenol mistruth?
The cause of death was marked as
what's really going on?
A seizure disorder.
They got me living in the upside down. I can't even call it a lie. So in the time since I made these discoveries and started making videos about them, Lima has come out on Instagram and made a post with like literally a nasty patty from the Krusty Krab or wherever they were making them at the Plankton, the Chum Bucket, whatever. And referring to my investigation into these incidents as online drama. And I think that it is very interesting to refer to a legitimate investigation being done on a public level and showing people how to use publicly available documents to find inconsistencies in the statements of people who are trying to get thousands of dollars from the public as drama. It's not drama. It is a very, very serious matter, not only with the Amanda Rabb story, but with what went on with Bam and continues to go on with him.
Well, who's not to Lima? He's the worst guardian ever.
He wasn't allowed to use his phone. He said he wasn't allowed to call people he wanted to call. A podcast just aired yesterday with Steve-O and Bam confirmed a lot of this stuff.
Because Novak said, dude, if you just do a year, you'll understand how much better you will feel. Because you always go 30 to 60 days, maybe 90 tops. But if you just do a year, you'll understand. And I call him up after a year. I'm like, Novak, I understand. I get it. I feel great now. I just don't want to return to that anymore.
The way we kind of deal with rehab is just not enough. It's not long enough.
Absolutely. The problem with these rehabs, they're kicking people out only 30 days.
Okay, and I think that is very good. I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
It's really weird how sort of like preachy Steve-O is in this interview, like condescending and sort of been there, done that. He knows better than you. And it's like, he said he doesn't even know what's going on social media. Steve-O said, Bam, can you at least say the things that have been said online aren't true?
We're up on next, if you don't mind.
Okay, Bride of Chucky, like, what are you talking about?
Let's put your soul.
I've seen a lot of activity on social media with the hashtag #FreeBam. And people seem to think that you're the Britney Spears of Jackass. The evil villains have taken over your life and stolen all your money. And like, can we safely say that none of that is true?
Bam said, well, not really. I can't tell you what was going on social media because I wasn't allowed to have my phone.
I don't know what's been going on because I haven't been able to look. As a matter of fact, I can't even post on my Instagram. Everything has to go through Johnny Schiller from Heart Supply because I had to sign a contract because when I was dealing with the lawsuit with Paramount and Jackass, I was posting shit like, fuck these motherfuckers, and it was potentially ruining my lawsuit. So I had to sign a paper saying that only Johnny can clear what goes through my Instagram. So I don't even know my new passcode. I can't control what goes on it.
Can I tell you, I think that's good news.
I do know there was somebody sharing videos of me, in the back of a police car, whatever. Yeah, I was. But another thing that Bam did say in that video,
He's the worst guardian ever.
he was suspicious of her in that video.
Well, who's not to Lima?
Who's keeping Bam from being able to go on social media? There were a couple big accounts that had, in the early days of Aura, endorsed her, promoted her, collaborated with her.
This video is in collaboration with 16 Leo.
I don't know any of the details behind what went on in those conversations. Lima's first video on her YouTube channel ever was with a content creator called Dissociated.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another video by Dissociated.
Hi everyone, welcome to my first video with Chloe from Dissociated.
That Dissociated, the channel, has come out and said on a community post that they do not endorse this type of behavior. They did not know that that's what they were endorsing whenever, they did the collab. I do not endorse or condone anyone attacking. I say it at the beginning as a disclaimer in every video, and I really mean it. We have the truth on our side. I'm begging you not to send any hateful emails. Don't even send any emails. Don't send any text messages to Lima or anyone related to her. That's not what we do. That's not what I do. And I am begging you not to do that. Leave the girl alone. There's some truth we don't yet have, and we're gonna get to it. I'm not saying that Lima was definitely threatened or attacked, but I just wanna make a disclaimer. That ain't cool. That ain't the point. My point is the truth, justice, and bodily autonomy. Nobody should be entitled to take over the rights, privileges of another human being, and damn sure not the medical choices. It's not something I endorse. I know it happens all the time, and that's why I started making these videos. It shouldn't. And I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is because I have lots of experience losing people close to me. I could have did what these people do and rushed over and forced them into rehab and did all these interventions and taken over their life and made them miserable and did all that, and then they're calling me the worst guardian ever. That's not my place. It doesn't matter what your religion is, if you have one or not, spiritual, whatever. Everyone would agree we come to this earth with free will. Free will to make the decisions that are right for us. Free will to make the decisions that are wrong for us and to learn from our mistakes. That's the point. When somebody dies, what do y'all ask? What's the first question you ask? Well, let's think about for a second. How did they die? Then when that person's in their 20s and you don't know of any pre-existing health conditions, what's the next question you ask? Was it drug related? Did they do a toxicology report? The two most important questions, the two primary questions when somebody dies. Lima did not tell the truth. That's why I'm telling this story. And I called those statements lies. As a result, I'm getting sued for it, for defamation. I deny all allegations of wrongdoing. And I expect to be vindicated in a court of law by a jury of my peers who probably will agree with me that the shit is shady. You shouldn't have lied. Y'all know I do not like to ask for stuff. I don't. It's very difficult for me to do so. But unless I want to spend, like I said, every waking hour fighting this case, which I'm prepared to do, I'm trained to do, I'm able to do, that's not something that I really feel like I can do in a sustainable way. I'm really gonna need help. So if you agree that something's going on here that's a little outside of the ordinary and you would like to assist me in protecting freedom of the press, journalism, and my personal right to free speech and fighting this defamation lawsuit, I would really genuinely appreciate it. The legal fund is linked below. Facts ain't defamation.
Yeah, so I started Aura because my sisters, who are identical twins, have had some mental health struggles.
A desperate search is underway for a woman who went missing in West Hollywood.
You could be our triplet.
So, yeah, we're gathered here today. Because this is, Amanda Rabb passed away in May 2021. We're sitting here October 2024, and we still have not got an answer as to why it is the case. Did I miss it? Did we get an answer?
No.
Anyway, so that was that. So after all that happened, I'm sued, scrambling, freaking out, crying, and undeterred, planning part 3. Lima decides she's gonna go on a little PR social media blitz of her own, including going on Adam Gray and Mason's podcast. I think she was supposed to maybe go on Steve-O's, but it was just a disaster, or maybe it didn't work out, but then Steve-O vouched for her online.
The ringleader of the whole Free Bam thing ended up like linking up with Bam.
Yes.
And some like gnarly.
I understand that person took a lot of shit for doing content with him when he was clearly inebriated.
Oh my God, he was wasted.
Yeah.
And like on all kinds of things, it would appear, allegedly. Yeah.
She tried to get him to talk about me in one of the interviews, and he was just like, he clearly didn't know who I was, and he's like, fucking Adam 22, whatever, man.
Does she have some kind of beef with you?
Yeah, she hates me because you know the Lima from Aura
Sure.
girl? I basically spoke on a podcast and said that because I interviewed Lima. And I said that I thought she was a good person and maybe she had made a few weird decisions, but I didn't think she was an evil person.
I don't think she's malicious on any level.
You hit me up, you said, do you want to interview the devil?
You know why I said that though, yeah?
And I actually think the person who's been smearing Lima is the psychopath, evil person. And I stand by that. And I think that's unbelievably obvious that Lima is an all right person who's just trying to help people or whatever. Like maybe did some weird things, but like, yeah, the people who have been trying to convince Bam and gaslight him into believing that everything is fine, those are clearly the people that shouldn't be trusted in this whole dynamic, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all just like, it's all just craziness, man. And
then the infamous Thing 1 and Thing 2 inspired creature that edited Lima's own words for herself. She came back dressed like me. It was very bizarre. But in the last video of this installment, or of this little mini series, this refresher, I invite you to view with us just a couple months, Virtual Reality Hell Part 1, July 2022. Emergency update about a month later, August 15, 2022. But then Lima's bizarre return was only 1 month later after emergency update. So I'm scrambling, and then she thinks she's gonna go out on a PR push blitz. So we'll watch one of my videos surveying and analyzing one such endeavor of Lima's, which is Lima's bizarre return.
Hi guys, I'm Lima, the one you've heard so many wonderful things about.
Previously on BJ Investigates.
There is something seriously wrong with the channel's soft white underbelly. When you look at the story of Amanda, you start to look at the ethics of the channel a little bit differently.
And let me just get this straight. The sun and the government will make me extra horny if I have sex with you?
Yeah.
What are you doing tonight? Lima Yavramovich?
Yavramovich.
You have a company called Aura.
We also use virtual reality, so we can put patients in triggering environments.
You're back.
Yes.
So you chose Amanda.
Yes, I chose Amanda.
Which I think is very brave of you.
Thank you. We're going to use Amanda as a case study.
Amanda, where are you from? Where'd you grow up? Do you see that you're kind of getting worse and worse every time we speak?
When I was smoking, I'm like in the cut, and then I'm gonna get murdered. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm behind the scenes, I'm annoying everybody, and then I get murdered.
She had passed away. They did the autopsy, they looked at her medical records. And so I'm just gonna read it word for word of what we got. The cause of death was marked as a seizure disorder.
I have those autopsy results. Hydralazine, that don't sound like Tylenol.
All she had in her system was Tylenol.
Losartan, gabapentin, clonidine, that don't sound like Tylenol. And risperidone, which also don't sound like Tylenol.
All she had in her system was Tylenol.
Basically, Lima suing me. The jury of my peers is going to decide this case. And the facts at hand are whether you're a liar.
The main woman that's been attacking me and kind of leading the witch hunt, she...
Yesterday, I'm definitely not minding my own business, but someone alerted me to the fact that Mark had posted a video with Lima in it.
Lima, welcome back.
Thank you, Mark.
So you've become an expert on how to help people. You did such a great job with Amanda.
Which didn't surprise me. I did feel like that was coming. I actually had invited them to do that. Have Lima back on your channel and interview her about it, or just get her to correct the record. And I actually had invited both of them, and the invitation remains open today to come on my channel, either one, and say what they need to say their side. And so I felt like the public invitation was invitation enough. But whenever it was time to start doing my work for the day, I went to the video and I watched it. It's just getting so hard to keep up with what version of the story they're gonna go with.
Lima, welcome back.
Thank you, Mark.
And so your company, Aura, helps therapists interpret their patients' reactions, right? Basically?
Yes, so it just tracks which patients are at highest risk and which patients are at lowest risk. And Amanda didn't have any value of herself. She got treated just like horrifically on the street, and her self-worth was at like a negative. When she went into the treatment center and she had a longer period of time, they were looking at her baseline and they're like, she doesn't have schizophrenia. The schizophrenia was drug-induced. These are all details that prior I was hesitant to give out, but since her medical information's been shared all over the internet, which is unfortunate, you know, it's public information now.
So I would like to take this opportunity to actually agree with something Lima said. She said that Amanda's healthcare information had been shared all over the internet, and so now it's public. But what she left out is, the quote, witch hunters are not the ones who shared this information at first instance. It was actually Larry Rabb.
I had her diagnosed, and it was schizophrenia bipolar.
Mark Leta.
There was one time that I was, you might remember, I was trying to take her to the clinic to get the prescription for her schizophrenia. As soon as she figured out that I wasn't taking her to my studio, she backs her legs up and she's gonna kick the windows out of my car to get out of a moving vehicle. It's like, so I had to let her out.
And Amanda herself.
You know, yes, you were addicted to crack, but you were also schizophrenic from the crack?
Right, it was from the crack. Once I stopped smoking crack, it went away.
You said it about your dad that one time, and I left it in because I didn't know who you were or your dad, and you were just some little street urchin that came into my studio with no bra on, no shirt on.
In this video, I do want to put clips side by side so people don't have to take my word for it, right? I thought I was kind of making people's lives easier by, you know, just telling them what the gist and the summary of the situations was. But I guess, you know, some people, like me, really want all the details. So what I'm gonna do is just put Lima's words together.
Now, there is a whole bunch of confusion and hubbub surrounding and around whether or not Amanda Rabb was in a conservatorship or a guardianship. She was not in a conservatorship or a guardianship, but Lima and Larry did try to implement one. And you're gonna hear Lima tell you in her own words right now what the real truth is behind a conservatorship and a guardianship, and that's that they're exactly the same thing because they assign the rights of one person to another person, and sometimes a complete stranger.
What we were trying to do was file what's called an LPS conservatorship. It's the equivalent of a guardianship in, you know, in the grand understanding. It's that guardianships are called LPS conservatorships in LA and California.
Conspiracy theories and crazy stuff swirling around Bam. I would love to set the record straight. Bam has not ever been under a conservatorship. The temporary guardianship he was under did not ever have any financial implications.
What we were trying to do was file what's called an LPS conservatorship. It's the equivalent of a guardianship. We attempted to file an LPS conservatorship, but Amanda's public defender was overwhelmed with how many cases he had, so he never filed the documentation. These conservatorships are extremely difficult to get. The issue with that was that we were not able to have communication between the jail and the doctor at the jail, but we had everything else on our end with a second doctor referring it. And so Amanda has a public defender. As a public defender, they have so many clients that it's really hard for them to dedicate the time required to actually push something like that through.
It's very confusing to me what even actually just happened, but I wanted to show y'all the two sort of not the same stories that she's telling about why she couldn't get a conservatorship.
We diverted to put in a court order for Amanda to complete 1 year of treatment. So she risks that if she doesn't complete it, she goes back to jail. And so essentially we just applied to the court for a court order. So Amanda was never under guardianship, she was never under conservatorship. She didn't have any type of like healthcare directive, agent, or anything like that. We were going for an LPS conservatorship to ensure that we had power of attorney to make the decisions for Amanda. She didn't have any type of like healthcare directive, agent, or anything like that. She just had the court telling her like, you need to go. She had attacked her father, which was a felony because she attacked him with a weapon, and they were looking at either jail time for her. That last day that I went to court, she was set to be released. They were looking at either jail time for her. She was set to be released. And so I just petitioned, like, this is not a criminal situation, it's a mental health situation. So we essentially just asked the judge if we cash paid her treatment and got her out of the system so she's not a burden on the system, would he be willing to court order treatment instead of jail time?
She would have been free for 10 days, right?
Not for 10 days. She would have been potentially released the last time I came. So that last day that I went to court, she was set to be released. And so I just petitioned, like, this is not a criminal situation, it's a mental health situation. So we essentially just asked the judge if we cash paid her treatment and got her out of the system so she's not a burden on the system. She was set to be released back onto the street because there were no other options for her. And so initially, when speaking to the district attorney, I notified her that this was not Amanda's first time, which was already something that was known, and that she's in a very bad mental state. So based on that information is what made them shift gears. She was set to be released and say that if we were willing to take responsibility, so basically myself, willing to ensure that I report everything to the courthouse and make sure that Amanda doesn't violate anything and ensure that she follows court order, that they would consider giving her a mandated 1-year plan, which would be the essential path of an LPS conservatorship. So Amanda was never under guardianship, she was never under conservatorship. A mandated 1-year plan, which would be the essential path of an LPS conservatorship. Would he be willing to court order treatment instead of jail time?
Last week, early morning, you got to be at court 8:30. 8:30.
And Amanda's in jail.
She's in jail for an assault.
Assault on you.
On me. And she's expecting release. So Amanda's very provocative. She's talking as she's coming in.
And you can't decide that she needs to go to rehab.
No,
she's an adult.
After the first 6 months, then she took 21 and said, no, remember, I'm an adult. So early morning, 8:30, she's been locked up now for a few weeks. She has a court date, but we have to petition to try to get conservatorship. And Miss Lima shows up and petitions. Her appearance and her presence made the difference, because I would have known what to say, but the way she presented it, it was so authentic, and they knew that this is for real. These are sponsored. These are people that's going to help my family, help Amanda.
Would he be willing to court order treatment instead of jail time? She was set to be released.
She's expecting release.
She was set to be released.
But to help Amanda will help the family.
Larry, tell me what happened in court last week.
Yeah, there she was, Miss Lima. She's coming to support us.
She was set to be released.
And after she talks to the DA and the public defender, we have Amanda's case, second. Like I said, she was just coming out petitioning. Now, who makes this decision? Do I go home today? I have someplace else to live. I don't have to go to my... She had all of her presentation ready to go. So the judge, he was very accommodating, but he let her know, did the attorney tell you, he's gonna... Yes, the attorney admitted, yeah, I've told her what to expect. She's expecting release. And she said to him, he said to her, would she be up for long-term care? She's expecting release.
She was set to be released.
He said it at the end of his presentation, and she said yes.
Amanda chose the longer rehab.
He said yes, unequivocally. She just said yes.
And she chose the longer rehab as opposed to a shorter one. That's amazing.
She just said yes into the longer rehab.
Yeah, so she had the option of being released a week ago when I was here. She was set to be released, going back and having her own plan. Or at the end of the month, she could stay in jail and wait until another court date. And so they told her that I'm working with her father to help put her in a program and have a long-term plan for her. And if she would consider to stay in jail a little bit longer and postpone her court date, but they need her to say okay to not hold court that day so that they can review all of our paperwork, what the program is, which treatment center she would go to.
And yesterday she said, I'm so glad I called you today. She said, you really have a good rehab for me to go to? And I said, yes, this lady's the real deal, And she said, are you sure? I said, yes. And I said, yes, we have a good rehab for you to go into when you leave there. She's expecting release.
She was set to be released.
And she says, I'm so glad I called you today.
And they were looking at either jail time for her. Would he be willing to court order treatment instead of jail time? She was set to be released.
I mean, it's a shame because so much of your it's like you're a crusader almost for helping these people. Like whether it's Amanda, who tragically passed away, but at the end, Amanda was as sober as you and I are right now, and she said some of the sweetest things about you. She said to me privately that you saved her life. The autopsy results came. You read them, but explain what happened with the autopsy.
Yeah, well, the problems actually stemmed before that. They were making all these conspiracies.
Well,
before
first
that.
off, it took how many months for them to Clark County to get the autopsy results?
So it took them 7 months before they actually gave us an answer.
That seems awfully long.
Yeah, that's awfully long. It was a very frustrating process. And so I'm just going to read it word for word of what we got. The cause of death was marked as a seizure disorder.
Myself and the investigation team have requested Amanda's autopsy report. Can y'all read what this says? Cause of death. 25-year-old black female Amanda Rabb died of cardiac arrhythmia.
When they finally came back with an answer, they said Amanda died from cardiac arrhythmia relating to schizophrenia. The cause of death was marked as a seizure disorder. And so then we responded with, Amanda didn't have schizophrenia. Did you get her medical records from the treatment center she passed away at? And they believe that it was post-traumatic epilepsy, but they couldn't mark it as post-traumatic epilepsy because of a lack of evidence. If the traumatic brain injury and the assaults were well documented, they would have most likely marked it as a homicide. So that was a major wake-up call for all of us. And their response was, oh, we never received those medical records. She was at that facility for 6 months, and they didn't get her medical records from the facility she passed away from. So we responded, and we sent them videos. Also, the autopsy report says that Amanda didn't have any type of traumatic brain injury, that she was never, So anyways, we sent them all of these things, and upon review, the doctor that performed the autopsy report sent me back, an email that you also have a copy of, and essentially stating that they're going to amend the autopsy results now that they have this additional information that they somehow overlooked.
It made you look bad in the social media world.
And they also knew that I was going to give a public statement because they had all of your videos. And so I read directly from exactly what the doctor sent me, word for word of what we got, because I didn't want to mess it up. And I guess they never amended the autopsy report. So we're waiting for a response from Clark County. I'm actually, I've had to request that they do issue a public statement because I'm not trying to do the he said, she said thing. I'd rather it come from the source. All she had in her system was Tylenol. And for me to reveal what medication somebody's on is outside of HIPAA law. And so at the time, prior to everything becoming so public, because of these people seeking to get medical records and autopsy results and all of that, and posting it all over the internet against the wishes of the family and the privacy and respect for Amanda, I couldn't list her actual medications that she was taking because that would require me actually revealing what her mental illness diagnosis was. The question was, did Amanda relapse? And my answer was no, she just had Tylenol in her system. I know that they did a toxicology report. All she had in her system was Tylenol. She didn't relapse on drugs. She stayed sober, she died sober. And I was told that she had Tylenol in her system. I guess it was actually aspirin in her system. And I was just reading exactly what I was given. So,
No, I think some people love to create a scandal where maybe there isn't one.
Absolutely.
and they realize they can get a lot of views on a video that way and make some money maybe on YouTube. About a month ago, YouTube changed their policy on sex-related content on their platform, demonetizing all the videos that have any kind of sexual content. That impacts about 2/3 of the videos that are on my channel. If you wanted to support my channel financially, I guess you could do so by subscribing to the subscription channel, which is $10 a month. You get ad-free versions of all the videos. You'll get about 200 exclusive videos that are not on YouTube and more to come.
So one other thing she said in this Mark Leta video, and she says it in the lawsuit as well, is I've been sued by my school. She's been sued by her school.
They have a history of doing this to other people too, right?
They have histories of doing this to other people. She's also been sued by her school.
Y'all know where I went to school? Went to school at the University of Pennsylvania Law School. It's the ‑5 law school in the country. I had to take out well over $150,000 to attend that school, and that was after I received $130-something scholarship. So when I took those loans out, I took them mostly from the government, like probably a lot of y'all did. And then there was a special program at Penn Law for the poor kids, which I was. I was definitely probably the lowest income student in my whole entire class, if not certainly in the bottom 5 as far as finance brackets go. When I started law school, I was on food stamps. I've been poor my whole life. There was a special poor kid scholarship. Some of y'all might have heard of them. You could take a loan from the school. And the way those loans work, of course, is when you pay them back, you have to pay interest. So let's say I took out $1,000 loan with a 5% interest rate. When I start making my money later, when it's time to pay the loan, I'll have to pay them $1,000 plus 5%. So $1,050 goes back to them. Then they take that $50 that they just profited off of me and put it back into their endowment. That's how it works, but it's legal, it's fine. And I participated in that type of a poor kid loan. I think I took out a total of $8,000 or so. And instead of talking to y'all about the cause of death and the drugs in the Rabb system right now, I'm having to defend myself because I'm frankly, cog in the whole machine of a badly incentivized financial system that forces people to transcend poverty by taking out so much debt that we can't always pay it back immediately. So in the middle of a global pandemic, the law school was sending me letters to collect on the loan. I didn't get them. I didn't see the letters. I didn't know they were trying to collect on the loan. I had from my other loans the information that they were not collecting on loans during the pandemic. Y'all remember that? I didn't know anybody was about to start asking me for money. I had no idea. The first time I heard about it was a couple weeks before Lima threatened me with this lawsuit. And then she put it in the lawsuit. Now she's saying it on Soft White Underbelly.
They have a history of doing this to other people too, right?
They have histories of doing this to other people. The main woman that's been attacking me and kind of leading the witch hunt, she, to my knowledge, is unemployed, so she's just pushing out these videos and monetizing them, and they're getting a lot of views. She's also been sued by her school.
And she got sued by her school?
She's also been sued by her school.
What does that have to do with each other? And I'm not gonna go so far as to say it's defamatory, but I certainly believe it's her trying to use something that is completely reasonable and explainable to try and make it seem like me and her are somehow on the same damn level. And we are not. The thought of that is preposterous to me. It's frankly unrelated to anything having to do with this, but yes, y'all, I went to a very expensive school. I got a lot of money in scholarships, and I still had to take out a lot of debt. I have debt still left over from my undergrad. Joe Biden's little forgiveness ain't gonna probably even touch that. But listen, actually, I think it might. I do feel a little bit nervous, to be honest, to admit this about debt, because I feel like it's possible that Lima might see that as an inability to take care of my finances and put me in a conservatorship at an ARA facility. Then, just as I'm kind of getting together all the inconsistencies in the story on the Soft White Underbelly channel, I'm alerted to yet another video later in the afternoon that is in existence that is posted having to do with Lima on her own channel. Good. Thank you. She should be posting videos. It's about damn time she said something about her actions. It's about time she said something about what she's been doing. So fine. I mean, she's got like a Mark Laita look-alike editing it. Got blue hair. I'm thinking it's possible maybe he's a twin too somehow, because it really looks like he's looking for Thing too, if you know what I mean.
Hi guys, I'm Lima, the one you've heard so many wonderful things about, and this is my friend Dustin.
Hey, how's it going? So I'm the one that edited this video together. I tried to keep it funny. I have a YouTube channel myself.
Neither did I.
What are we gonna do?
I need a distraction.
What's going on? What's everybody looking at?
Because I needed to relax.
If you guys want to support me, please go support him because he's helping me out a lot. And while you're at it, make sure you subscribe to this channel so that we can get through all of the drama together and get back to doing what we're the best at, which is helping people.
She had passed away.
Just go ahead and get right into it.
Now, this is just speculation. I'm just a conspiracy theorist. Y'all know that. Can Lima have some ties to the police department?
Lima, who should be in jail, allegedly.
Her.
They were using those mind control helmets.
When I put this on, the alien mothership comes into my brain, tells me what to say.
Really hard to make a comment on this stuff because it misrepresents so much of what I do. It's really hard for me to comment on it. I don't even know where to start.
Get in touch with your feelings as you look into the eyes of this person on this picture.
Lima, who's a virtual reality inventor.
So virtual reality has been around since 1968. Safe to say I didn't invent it, but I wish I did.
I thought it was like a very obvious nod to the earlier Surprise Witness vlog style editing, the sort of SpongeBob references and things like that. Cute and honestly flattering, because I could tell that I really inspired the look in the video, and Jake definitely inspired the editing of the video. I mean, it's clear. So I do know that somebody's been watching those videos. Thank you very much. But honestly, what we do is some of the best in the entire world. So obviously people are going to be copying the editing. We see it all the time. We're not mad about it. We see it. It's cute. For the most part, there's stuff in there that's just kind of funny. And y'all know I'm the biggest fan of a wacky edit. She did like a little compilation. Actually, Thing One edited it. And it's a compilation of all the different ways people on the internet are saying Lima's name. Now, if you have a very complicated to say name, like Yevrimovich, or complicated to spell within a certain spelling system, probably people mispronounce your name. And it's probably like a downside, you know, and so that person should get to make a little joke like, oh, look at all these people saying my name wrong. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Then there was some stuff in there that she said, just kind of like as jokes that I felt like was just not a joke at all. And it kind of reminds me of that Steve-O tattoo where it's like people defend it by saying it's a joke. But it's if you just call it what it is and it's not a joke, then you have to really address what it really is that they're saying. Some of the jokes that they put in the video, to be honest, just weren't so funny. It was inappropriate. And it doesn't really surprise me because Thing One, with the Mark Laita lookalike with the blue hair, essentially what he did was he took a clip from one of my live streams about Bam Margera, and he took out a part where I was talking about the outfit or the clothes that Lima was wearing in this particular video. I appreciate that you mentioned this. Leora, they are dressed like they're just stepped away from a graveside service, and I do think that they did just leave the funeral or some type of service or something like that, because why are they dressed like this? But it was just kind of like a one-off live stream. I mean, I don't do scripts. In this live stream, I said, what are they even wearing? It looks like they just stepped out of a graveside service. What are they wearing? And in that edit, Destin Dern took one of my favorite pictures that I've ever taken. that I've ever been in, right? And he edited it over my voice, right? So it's like, what are they wearing? And it shows a picture of me and my fiance, Prim, in wearing a lehenga. Like, we're wearing traditional Indian clothes. We're at a friend's wedding. It was beautiful. It was lovely. I have no complaints about the entire time. It was great, and it was a beautiful celebration and a beautiful event. Actually, since I took that picture, it's been the lock screen on my phone. Okay, it is one of my favorite pictures of all time ever. Okay, first of all, I just love the picture. I think it's so cool and so great. I was re-watching a portion of it or something somebody sent me. I don't really remember, but I was re-watching a part of it, and I saw really in full screen what that edit and what Lima was really doing with that picture.
They are dressed like they're just stepped away from a graveside service. Why are they dressed like this?
Because we did. That was the video that we shot when Amanda passed away and we went to her funeral.
I got very upset. It was enraging because I remember discussions that I've had with my fiance, Prim, who was born in India and moved over to the United States after having to spend years apart from his father, who was busting his ass to build something for his family to have a safe place to live and escape persecution. I'm thinking about all this, right? Because Lima's now made the outfits a butt of a joke. The butt of a joke. And I'm just thinking, I'm remembering Prim telling me when he was a little boy, he was in soccer. Like, he had just gotten to the United States a year or something earlier. And then happened, we'll have to blur that out. His family was afraid because of how they were being treated based on the clothes they were wearing. Prim shared with me and gave me permission to share this, that he used to feel ashamed and embarrassed and scared for his mother to be seen at his school in her traditional clothing. And I just remember how proud and good Prim felt that day, and we talked about this as well. He said he worked very hard to overcome those feelings of fear, of judgment and embarrassment and all that stuff that was imposed upon him at such a young age. He said he had to actually work pretty hard to get over all that. And now he's proud of that. He told me just this morning, he used to wear American suits to Indian weddings. But now, since he's worked on, all this probably trauma of people making him feel afraid his whole life because of his traditional clothing and his mom's clothing and his dad's clothing, that he's kind of overcome that now. And just for that to all be sort of made into the butt of a joke.
They are dressed like they're just stepped away from a graveside service. Why are they dressed like this?
Because we did.
In a silly hate edit video, Lima's first video back ever, after I uncovered and other people are now uncovering on their own independently, that Lima didn't tell the truth about the drugs in Amanda Rabb's system and about her cause of death. That's not the only thing she didn't tell the truth about. And it's all documented. And her first video back ever to address those things makes somebody else's culture the butt of a joke. And that ain't the only place she did it. There's another part of the video featuring another content creator from TikTok is where I found out about her, but she's everywhere. She's all over YouTube, and she is a very fierce activist.
This needs to be discussed right now. This BJ Investigates woman has broken down how she came to find out about the woman that is in the video, the one that helped Amanda from beginning to end.
I'm sure she has all kinds of things going on in her life, but she's made it a point to make lots of videos about this subject to try and receive some type of investigation, some type of justice for Amanda Rabb. And I really appreciate all the work that she's done to amplify my story and to find her own investigations as well. I really appreciate it. And Lima put a picture up with this shower head showering on her. I didn't even notice it at first, but now I'm realizing Lima thinks this is a shower cap. That's not a shower cap, girl. It's called a bonnet. You put it on your hair to protect it from things like dehydration and heat damage and just, damage frizz, all kinds of, it's good for your hair. It's usually made out of satin or silk. But it's very obvious to me that Lima doesn't spend a whole lot of time looking into and respecting other people's culture. Because maybe then she would know a little bit of something about some Ayurvedic oils to put in her hair and wrap it up in a bonnet, because then her ends wouldn't look so crispy. But it's clear to me she don't know what a bonnet is.
Now, I really thought that you ate with coming for my bonnet. Maybe I should look into something about being attacked derogatorily and discriminatorily towards you making fun of what I wear on my head simply because I'm what? Black? Because ain't that the type of person you was working with that met with an untimely demise in your care?
Making other people's culture the butt of a joke in the land of the free because you're in a fight with me, instead of addressing Amanda Rabb's cause of death on that video, then she said in the video, oh, I'm gonna take the next couple weeks and address these rumors.
In the next few weeks, I'm going to be taking the time to respond to everything that's being said about me online. I really appreciate all of the support. Thank you guys. Bye.
Girl, I've been talking about this for months. Your first video back is a thing one edit. The little jokes calling me a devil because I have a unicorn in my room, that's cute. But let's just call it what it is. Thing one compiled a bunch of people saying a bunch of stuff about the devil. It showed Lima in a unicorn costume.
I told you that the unicorns are symbolic.
The devil. This is some really sinister shit.
Y'all know I love unicorns. I love it. I just like it. I like unicorns, always have and always will. For me, it's a symbol of innocence and purity, but I don't give a shit. Y'all can think it means the devil. I like it. I like unicorns. I'm gonna keep getting them, I'm gonna keep showing them. I ain't sorry for it. That's fine, it's cute. It doesn't really hurt my feelings because I don't give a shit who y'all think I am, especially her and Destin Dern. Please. Speaking of cotton candy, that's all I'll say. The point is, I thought it was profoundly inappropriate for Lima to make, particularly my fiance and my family's culture, the butt of an internet joke. Why are they dressed like this? In an already arguably inappropriate video for like the context of the whole thing. Whenever she's mad at me. Jokes like that are not funny. Trying to say, what are you wearing, and embarrassing me for wearing something that signifies royalty and honor, that's not a joke. So maybe in your next hate edit, you can run it through somebody who has any type of sense, because it's really just common sense. Suffice it to say that it's getting really difficult to keep up with what version of the story she wants to tell and with what version of Lima she wants to be. Because on Mark Laita's channel, she's sort of got this somber, like little bit aggressive, confrontational kind of, I don't know, air about her, persona about her.
There's been a lot of misinformation spread about Amanda, about Larry, about myself and you, of just people kind of trying to make entertainment out of the situation, taking people's pain and turning it into like views and clicks.
And on her channel, she's wearing completely different clothes, completely different colors, completely different look. The hair is different, the makeup's different.
So I'm the one that edited this video together. I tried to keep it funny.
Despite making light of the situation in this video,
intentional choices are all different. The way she speaks, the way she acts, the words Lima told you and Mark told you on these videos over the past years, and just compare them to one another.
People kind of trying to make entertainment out of the situation. Despite making light of the situation in this video,
facts ain't defamation.
Okay, so that all brings us to the final. Whew, Lord, how long has this been? I mean, we've probably been here for a while, who knows? The big announcement, the major announcement is I'm gonna be doing a, what should I call it? Fundraiser-a-thon next week. I think I decided on Wednesday on That Surprise Witness TV. We're gonna be going over some of this. I mean, honestly, it's just gonna be a little bit of a variety show, whatever I feel like that day, but it's all gonna have to do with this lawsuit, with the Bam Margera and Amanda Rabb storylines. It's gonna have to do with the gang stalking. It's gonna have to do with some never before seen body camera footage and never before seen footage from outside my house whenever Linda Sharkey showed up. Yep, so all that to say, the fundraiser, y'all, I just, what is it today? I think yesterday I sent $60,000 to my lawyers. I'm dealing with my 4th amended complaint. If y'all are behind on the lawsuit, I have been making detailed things about it over on my other channel, but all of that to say, we are in full swing fundraising, and I'll see you on my other channel, That Surprise Witness TV, next week on Wednesday for the party. Love you, Mina K. Bye.
Knock, knock, Lima. Who's there? It's the FBI. We want to find out why you have 6 different names, and we want to find out what really happened to Amanda Rabb. Because your fake autopsy report, she did not die of a fucking Tylenol. She died of a seizure. And I am 44 years old. I never had a seizure in my life until I met you at the age of 42, waking up 8 days later on fucking life support from your medications. So let's also talk about McFuck from Staten Island, who opened up a treatment center in West Palm Beach, who's married, who got 4 girls pregnant that are clients and paid for the abortions. And if you're Baker acted or Marchman acted or have a drug or alcohol problem, he'll let you go on the 88th day to go party with your friends so you come out and piss hot so you get more insurance money, and he keeps you there forever. Fuck all y'all. I have no filter. I have no fear. I'm very protected. 1, 2, 3, let's go.
BJ investigate, she gonna find the truth. She gonna crack the case here. It's not a lie when it's paperwork. She will expose the truth. Daily updates for you. Better subscribe like I knew you would. We gotta stand for what's right. We gotta do for the good, yeah. I don't know what y'all have heard. That surprise witness got the word. We don't believe in Scientology. I do not need your mind control on me. We don't need your conservatorships, no. We doing right what's right for the kids. Whoa.
Y'all cannot control me. I control my own mind. You could've controlled me then. Still not in this lifetime. Can you send us down the pink angel from the heavens of truth? You don't want to debate with BJ. The studying law is what she do.